Course 6 Certificate Program for Adverse Event Call Handlers in India. Module 1 Introduction to Pharmacovigilance. We are going to discuss on the topics of drug withdrawals. What are they? What are clinical trials? How pharmacovigilance is defined? What is the objective of our presentation today? What are pharmacovigilance safety information sources? How safety data are gathered? Who are the partners in pharmacovigilance? And most importantly, the pharmacovigilance workflow. Okay. In recent times, in the past 2 decades, there are several drugs which has been withdrawn in the market. The slide which you see is a rough image of drugs withdrawn worldwide, or in US, or in Europe, or in Germany. In most of these drugs have undergo rigorous training in research, and their end results of several compliant GCP trials. For example, Resolin is a drug used to treat type 2 diabetes. It has been in the market for 3 years and it has been withdrawn because of hepatotoxicity. Trovan is again the same. The drug is involved in for the treatment of bacterial infection, and the drug is withdrawn from the market after 4 years being in the market due to risk of liver failure. Same with Vioxx. The drug is used to treat acute pain condition, but it's been withdrawn in the market in US for risk of myocardial infarction. We have a drug called Avandia, which is manufactured research results of GlaxoSmithKline. Same, the product has been withdrawn in India and in UK. The reason for withdrawal is risk of heart attacks and death. The product has been in the market for 11 years and then they are withdrawn. Why it happens? Even though the pharmaceutical products undergo rigorous testing before they are introduced to the market. On what basis government take this drastic decision? Who helps to take this decision? Let us discuss in these 3 points basically. When a product faces a market withdrawal, a complete safety data of the product is one of the baseline which says how the product is safe. During clinical trials, complete safety data of a product cannot be captured during clinical trials which is conducted in an artificial or protected environment. Clinical trials are conducted under strict supervision. Therefore, subjects are not taking any other medications or not included in the study. They don't have too many other diseases while taking the drug, are taking the drug only for shorter terms in clinical trials. Maybe or may not be vulnerable population people are involved, like children, pregnant women, breastfeeding mothers, and elderly population. It is also known no drug is inherently safe unless it has no effects at all. Drug appears to be safe and well tolerated, but the drug safety in real world is very unclear because of chronic use of the drug and use of other medications with the reported drug. All medicines have side effects, some of which are known side effects and some are not. Even then we get a market approval based on the data of clinical trials. Most of the events occur after the drug is marketed. Clinical trial data shows adverse event based on the captured within the study population, whereas each drug classified have a nature and also have a specific pattern of adverse events. So most of the time the side effects which the drug category is going to cause is predictable, but the most preferred drugs are which produce very less side effects when we use them. Therefore, they are considered as safe. It is important to monitor both known and unknown side effects of medicine in order to determine any new information related to the drug's safety profile. And how our pharmacovigilance is working in capturing long-term safety data. Pharmacovigilance looks at all available information to access the safety profile of the product. Throughout the product life cycle, pharmacovigilance provides evidence in medicine-related problems, treatment failures, counterfeits, poor quality medicines, drug interaction, or incorrect use. It also generates evidence that will inspire public confidence and trust. What is the actual definition? The primary body which manages the drug database, safety database, is WHO, that is World Health Organization. WHO defines pharmacovigilance as a science and activities relating to the detection, assessment, understanding, and prevention of adverse effects of the drug or any other possible drug-related problem. It aims new information about medicines that are hazardous to humans. What actually pharmacovigilance processes are? It is designed to detect, identify, evaluate, provide, take action, and monitor. Identify the unknown drug reactions, evaluate, balances always between the risk and the benefit ratio of the drug, provide optimal information to the healthcare users, take actions which enough precautions or promote safety use of the drug, and monitor impact of the actions taken at every processes. Adverse reaction may not present only immediately after the release of the new drug into the body or to the market. On the contrary, they are entirely possible even after decades of taking the first prescribed medicine. The clinical severity of the disease being treated is no indicator of whether there can be a late onset problems or not. Therefore, the pharmacovigilance and long-term safety is the best way to monitor the safety of a drug. Now, it is very critical for us to understand the workflow processes in pharmacovigilance. When we report a pharmacovigilance center, the pharmacovigilance center receive several kind of information. Basically, first let's understand the source of information. Spontaneous reports, solicited reports, literature reports, regulatory agencies, and other reports. The spontaneous reports are once a drug is marketed, whatever the physician feels as an adverse event, it gets reported. Solicited reports are a study which is undertaken to look into specific drug reactions or safety of a drug for a particular period of time, and it is reported to the pharma company. Further, it has been reported to the Central Pharmacovigilance Database. Again, literature search is also a form of reporting adverse event. Many times, physicians observe things and they tend to publish. Research groups tend to publish. Therefore, a literaturely known information also becomes an individual case report. Regulatory authorities constantly watch, collect, and share information. Therefore, we also get reports from regulatory authorities. Others include patients reporting directly to the pharma company about a drug reaction. Therefore, we have a spontaneous report, solicited reports, literature searches, regulatory agencies communications, and other communications like information from patient or from healthcare providers. They are collectively called as source information for safety data. Now let's understand the medium of this information coming through. They can be either voice or a recorded telephonic message. They can be a handwritten notes. It can be a fax, or it can be an email or a web page submission. All the information once and pharmaceutical company members get known, they have to report it to pharmacovigilance department. The department takes the first measure of analyzing, triaging the cases. Triage means whether the reaction is already known for the drug and it is labeled known reaction, or it's unknown reaction, or already known reaction being reported in higher volume. So they tend to report this immediately to the government, and further they collect full information and submit the follow-up reports. So the reports again can be from product complaints. It can be because of poor quality of the drug. It can be because of using at well contraindicated condition. It's used for off-label, and it is also used intentionally misused. All those things are investigated, and the samples are sent into case processing database. If any legal issues are there, that's discussed with legal team. Medical team takes care and codes all the terminology to international standards, which we call as MEDRA, and the reports are submitted to regulatory authorities, which we call as ICSR, or we call as continuous monitoring of the reports, collective reports together as PSUR, and in specific each data of ICSR is put together as line listings. And also sometimes communications are provided back to the patients. The partners in pharmacovigilance are the worldwide database stays in the Upasala Monitoring Center. We also have in each country national and regulatory bodies, hospitals, academia, healthcare professionals, and patients constantly report, monitor, use adverse event data. In India, the Central Drug Standardization Control Organization is a centralized body for approval of all pharmaceutical and medical device products. They function in parallel to the European and as well as Japanese, US FDA norms and exchange safety data. The PVPI is an initiative of Government of India which specifically monitors adverse drug reaction among Indian population and helps regulatory authorities in India to take decisions on safe use of medication. Adverse events all over the world are stored in databases in Upasala Monitoring Center, and data in Europe is called as EMEA database, and that data is stored in Vigilance. In US it's called as MedWatch, and they have a database for all the monitoring of drugs, devices and vaccine. The Upasala Monitoring Center carries the main responsibility of the Uppsala Monitoring Center acts as a worldwide data collection and as well as monitoring and helping the medical practices about the new safety information. Also, it updates manufacturers and various process related to manufacturing, and it is also in headquarters with the WHO, and it also coordinates with national centers and WHO collaborating centers. So the Uppsala Monitoring Center is an primary database area for all safety data information. Apart from that, from where all we can get safety data information is from clinical trials, all phases of clinical trials. In some cases, like clinical trials in after approval, like the trials where the swine flu drugs are approved fast, and we have the long-term safety monitoring in place for such trials, and some studies which are new drugs categories, they involve long-term post-marketing surveillance studies. If a drug safety is been established, there is no strict policies on enforcement of submission of PSURs, but if there is no need of adequate safety is established, only monitoring of spontaneous reports are continuously carried out. Apart from that, the patients and healthcare professionals related reports, other epidemiological studies whatever carried out worldwide, and medical literatures and pharmaceutical companies. Current scenario, many pharmaceutical companies voluntarily join together to monitor the safety of a drug. Sometimes also communication from worldwide authorities. Okay. Then when we are talking about adverse events and reports and things like that, what is the basic report look like, and what is an adverse event and strictly related to the reporting norms? Let's review it briefly here, and in the second and third part of the presentation will take you in depth in understanding of adverse event and classification. So, any undesirable adverse events suspected to be associated with the use of a drug or a biological, herbal and cosmetics or medical devices should be reported. All ADRs as a result of prescription and non-prescription, all suspected adverse drug reactions regardless of whether or not the product was used in accordance with the product information provided by the company marketing the product, unexpected reactions regardless of the nature of severity, whether not consistent with the product information or what we call labeling of the product, an observed increase in the frequency of given reaction, a serious reaction whether expected or not, all suspected ADRs associated with drug food and food drug supplement interaction also needs to be reported. Areas of special interest includes tendency of drug abuse and drug use during pregnancy and during lactation. Areas occurring from overdose of medication errors, unusual lack of efficacy or suspected pharmaceutical defects are observed. All these 9 points gets reported as an ADR. Anything otherwise deemed as an qualifiable report by the treating physician are also reported in the ADR. These are just an examples, but they are not limiting factors for your information. Who are the people who are reporting this adverse event? They are the physicians, pharmacists, pharmaceutical companies, regulatory personnel in these companies, clinical trial ongoing studies, individual case studies, periodic safety reports. In many countries, patients are also encouraged to report the. This brings to the end of the presentation. Please review the slides one more time or as many times you are comfortable to take a test. You need to log in for the course MCQs and answer the options. After clearing this presentation, you can move to module 2 of this course. If you have any doubts, you can contact online your course tutor. The next module is a terminology module where you can learn about the terms related to this ADR drug path. Okay, good luck to you.